We will start with a short movie, and then I will introduce you the two important people that we have. I have here next to me. Okay. Sorry. Yeah.
פלסטינאים מהפיתוחים שלנו נהנים גם החקלאים היהודים וגם החקלאים הערבים. לראיה, בכל מי שנסע לאורך משריקה רואה חקלאות פלסטינאית ופועלת להססה. כולנו באים לפה לשאול את התנאים אצלם הרבה יותר טובים. מעדיפים לעבוד אצלנו ולקבל משכורות שהן גבוהות משמעותית מהמשכורות המקצועיות.
אני עובד ל8 שנים בדבלנית תנועה טרורית באלבזין. הפרדה עם החדשים יש לנו מציאות כלכלית שאנחנו שכר. אנחנו פה 25 עובדים, יש לה השלכה של 10 ילדים. מדובר על 250 איש, יש פה אנחנו זוכים בכוח עמידה בידיים הזאת שזה משהו שמאוד חסר בחקלאות בארץ, והם זוכים בפרנסה שהיא פרנסה מכובדת ומכבדת. חותרים על המוקרים, חתרנו בטלוויזיה למיון, חיים פה. הדוד שלו היה פיתוח ב-FDLZ במשך 3 חודשים הוא נעדר מהעבודה ובחזרת המשכורת שלו. זה מאחר יחסית של הפרות של חתמות עד שנים. אני עובד עם דוד 33 שנים. אנחנו כמו משמעת אחותה. כל מה שצריך בבית, לוקח לבקש לעבודה גם חיים פה מצוין, חיים ביחד, מסתכלים ביחד, עובדים ביחד. זה השלום האמיתי, ומי שרוצה לראות את זה במו עיניו, מוזמן לראות את זה, וזו לא יקבל תמידה ושופטת מהתקשורת.
Thank you for coming to our important panel. I have here two important people from the Middle East, from the Israeli society. David Elhyani, the mayor of the Jordan Valley, and Mr. Bassem Eid from Yericho. And they are much closer physically and mindly than what we all think. And they will speak about it a little bit in the next half an hour. First, I will let them introduce themselves. Mr. David Elhyani, the mayor of the Jordan Valley Council. Please.
Thank you for coming. My name is David Elhyani. I'm the mayor of the Jordan Valley Regional Council. It's about 860,000 dunam, the regional council. It's from Beit-She'an until Jericho. We have 20 communities in the Jordan Valley, Israeli communities, and more than 6 Palestinian villages, and of course, Jericho. We employed each day about 6,000 Palestinians, and in the rush season, about 12,000 Palestinians each day. It's agriculture area. 70% of the population in the Jordan Valley are farmers. That was the idea under our own plan. That was our mission. Our mission was to settle the Jordan Valley, to build communities, strong communities, and to be an agriculture area.
Mr. Bassem Eid, please.
Thank you, Moshe. Yes, I am Bassem Eid. I am a Palestinian who is living in Jericho. I spent over than 26 years of my life defending the rights of the Palestinians. Firstly, I started under the Israeli violations, and after the Oslo Agreement, I started defending the rights of the Palestinians from their own authority, the Palestinian Authority. Of course, that after the Oslo Accord, I decided to resign from B'Tselem and to create a Palestinian organization. And as an award that I received from the Palestinian Authority in '96, that I was arrested by Yasser Arafat. Because you know, to create a human rights organization under the Arab regime, it looks like to commit a suicide. So, but I was, anyhow, I was lucky that I was arrested in that time, because that gave me a huge impunity from the Palestinian Authority until today. I resigned from the whole issue of the human rights since 5 years ago, and I became much more a kind of a political analyst on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, touring around the world, especially the campuses of the United States, and among the others, a very well known as a fighter against the BDS in the world.
So you ended with the BDS. I wanted to ask you, David, how do you see the European and BDS organization? What do they do to the cooperation between Jews and Palestinians in the Jordan Valley?
Well, I start with a story. In 2008, one of the marketing England, Leiter, came to visit our farm, and about 6 persons. I asked the company to bring them to the Jordan Valley because Leiter, we didn't want to take our product in England. So I said, come to see how did the life between the Israel and Palestinians, what happened. Because to live in England, to take a decision without to see the reality, something wrong. And they came. And my Palestinian workers said, David, let me to do them Palestinian sheep, a lot of meat, rice. So they came over to the farm and grow fresh eggs. And after we were going to see the greenhouses, we go to the picnic house, and Yusuf, that's the name of the worker, told them, I want to know why you don't take David Paul, the product from David. The first time they said, we don't know, we are the middle management, we don't decide for everything. He said, you know what will be happen if David will close the farm? I have 7 children. I find myself at home. After 6 months, look out, I have a new car outside. After 6 months, I spend all my money. I sell my car. And after 3 months, somebody will knock at the door at midnight and will tell me, Yusuf, take 100 shekel and go 2 stones in Route 19. This is the main route in Jordan Valley. And I said, no, I will not do it. After 2 months, he will come again. Midnight, he said, Yusuf, take 200 shekel, go 2 stones in Route 19. I said, okay, I have 7 children to feed. I take those 200 shekel and go 2 stones in Route 19. And I'll kill somebody. That's what we want. So I was shocked. I was shocked because we didn't know the reality. The reality is that the Palestinian workers, the Palestinian situation in Jordan Valley, the relationship is best in economic reasons. We employ them, we have stability in work, we get salary each month. The relationship best by honor, we respect them. They are coming to our wedding, we are going to their wedding. We visit their home, they visit our home. It's the meaning of living together more than 50 years. When you live together, you can't ignore. My wife said that I see Yusuf more than I see her, because I work a lot. Farmers work a lot. So that's kind of relationship. We are going to their village any time of the day. Anytime we never go to the village. And I said to those, the BDS, you will not win. The life is stronger than anything. Stronger than anything. We share the same area. We share together the land in the Jordan Valley. We live together, and we have to find a way to live together. And we find it. In the Jordan Valley, it is an example how to do peace. And I tell to those that want to be to the BDS, you can do what you want. The reality is, you know nothing what happened in the field. What happened in the field, come to see how Israeli and Palestinian can live together by peace and with friendship. And I tell them that it's fake news. It's a fake news.
You know, Bassem, the BDS organization and many states around the world say, we want to help you, the Palestinians. We want you to have a free nation. We want you to have your flag. We want you to have your army. We want you to have your state. We want to help you. That's the organization of the BDS is saying. We want to help you against the Israeli state. They're occupying you. What do you have to say to them?
First of all, I didn't see right now any kind of help provided by any country directly to the Palestinians. Probably all of the countries
There is a lot of money that comes.
A lot of money is going where? It's going to the authorities, going to the leadership, but never ever being distributed inside the refugee camps, as an example, or the villages or the neighborhoods in the West Bank or either in Gaza. You see, we are living the reality. We know exactly what is going on, and I think that there is much more anger these days from the Palestinian side towards the international community. Because we are reading about billions of dollars, just reading, but we never touch it, we never smell it, we never practice it, we never count it. That's the major problem. On the other side, I think if you will come today to any ordinary Palestinian and asking him, what are the most three priorities that you are seeking? He will say the job to survive, to secure the education system and the health system for my children. Nobody is talking about settlements, nobody is talking about the wall, nobody even talking about the foundation of the Palestinian state, nobody is talking about the billions of dollars which is coming from the international community. People are much more care about their own economy. I used to say, friends around the world, that the majority of the Palestinians these days, in my opinion, are people who are seeking dignity rather than identity. And dignity means the economic prosperity. I used to teach my colleagues in the refugee camps in the West Bank that homeland is not the place where you're born. Homeland is the place where you can find justice, democracy, and dignity. That's exactly the homeland. Only the country who can assure you these three things: dignity, justice, and freedoms.
Well, Bassem, you know, the only democratic state in the Middle East is Israel.
In my opinion, all of the Arab countries right now who suppose to be the enemy of Israel, in my opinion, Israel today is living in a better situation than 20 years ago. Because less and less enemies today towards Israel. We can count the enemies of Israel on our fingers today. Because everybody starts recognizing right now that we can benefit from the Israeli experiences. We can benefit. Even the Gulf countries, who are owning the oil money around the world, still need the Israeli experiences. This is the reality today. So what the BDS is really want here, in my opinion, I didn't see any kind of help provided by the BDS towards the Palestinians. I think that less and less Palestinians even aware about the so-called BDS. BDS is not well known in Gaza, is not well known in the West Bank, but it is very well known in Germany and the UK and the United States. Jordan is going to import natural gas from Israel in the coming 10 years in $15 billion. Where is the BDS? Where is the BDS? Did they hear about it? Where is the BDS? Why the BDS is not exist in the Arab country? Because the BDS knows if they will just put up their heads will be cut by the leaders of the Arab country. So it is much more comfortable, it's much more healthy to grow up in Europe. In Europe, very easy, you can get money and you can get power. But in the Arab countries, these people will die in prison.
I want to ask you, Bassem, when you walk around and you speak with your family in your neighborhoods, and you walk, you see families and friends around the West Bank, how many of them will sign quietly about what you said, and how many of them in percent will go with Palestinian Authority?
You see, in my opinion, the majority of the Palestinians these days is bad. I believe that they are supporting my ideas. And this is why I am feeling so safe. I am living in Jericho since 14 years ago, which is completely under the Palestinian Authority jurisdiction. And nobody tried to knock ever my door. On the other side, I think that the Palestinians are today very aware that working in Israel is much better for them than to work under the Palestinian Authority. Friends, the monthly salary average today under the Israelis is 5 or 6 times more than it is under the Palestinian Authority. I know people in the Palestinian Authority who are working a month in 500 shekels. You couldn't believe it. Because there is no law to protect the rights of the laborers under the Palestinian Authority. The Palestinian Authority is not care. The Palestinian Authority is much more care about their own pockets rather than about their own people. This is the problem. So I believe that while I am still safe in the West Bank, that means that the majority of the Palestinians is still supporting my ideas.
Thank you very much, Bassem.
Thank you.
And be ready for personal questions.
Of course.
Mr. David, I would like to hear a little bit how many Palestinians are working at the Jordan Valley and what is the future you can offer them in the Jordan Valley? What do you see in the Jordan Valley in the next 10 years? What is going to grow up? How is the population of the people going to grow up? And the cooperation between the Palestinians and the farmers and the workers around the Jordan Valley.
As I said, 6,000 Palestinians are working each day in the Jordan Valley. A lot of people are coming and ask me what will be happen the next 10 years. And ask me what Bassem speak about the Palestinian, the majority. Well, before 4 years, she was a member of the Knesset, Miri Regel, tried to make a law that the Jordan Valley will be under Israel sovereignty. So who was happy than everybody? Palestinians. They wanted Israel ID. When people come to me and ask me what will happen in the next 10 years, I said there will be one state, not two, one. Because the quality of life of the Palestinians is increasing. They know what is democracy. They know they want to live as the Israeli Arab. They want to live in democratic state. And when I ask a worker, why you want Israel ID? He says, look what happened in Israel. The democracy of Israel put in jail prime minister, president, Knesset member, ministers, and what Abu Mazen, Abu Abbas do? Put democracy in jail. That's the difference. They are aware of what happened.
And they said that Israel is apartheid state.
No, I don't think that the Palestinians said that.
No.
That's more the Germans, yeah? That's more, yeah, Europe, yeah.
So they don't.
Israel is calling.
It's a Palestinian story. They're looking after him.
Yeah. Well, the Palestinians know that the Palestinian authority is corrupted. They know it is corrupted. They know, as Bassem said, they took the money in their pocket. And when I go inside the village in the Jordan Valley, and I see that nobody fixed the roads, there is no kindergarten, they don't fix the electricity, they ask themselves where all this money goes. I know that the Palestinian authority want to build themselves by the suffer of the Palestinians. So it's easy to them to see a picture that the Palestinians they don't have works. Their villages, they don't care about the villages. But without the Palestinian authority, by that they are working in our farmers and the quality of life increasing, the better their life are better, they win the Palestinian authority. So it will took 10 years until the Palestinians will say we don't need Palestinian authority, we don't need the state, we already have a state called Israel, so it will be only one state because they know how the living of the Arab Israeli living in Israel, they know what happened in Jordan. The quality of life of the Palestinians in the Jordan Valley and Shimon is better than the quality of life in Jordan. And who is traveling to Jordan can see. There are villages, they don't have water in Jordan. In the Jordan Valley, you don't show they have water, they have electricity. And to give you an example of what happened between the common people, the Palestinian community and the Palestinian authority. Before 3 years, one Mukhtar, the head of Palestinian village, called me and told me, David, I need your help. I said, what happened? He says, we don't have, 3 days, we don't have electricity. It was in summer. In the summer, the Jordan Valley, sometimes we have 51 degrees Celsius. So I told him, what happened? He said, the electricity is broken and we need your help. We we make a telephone call the electricity company of Israel and said we have to pay 300,000 shekel to fix it. And said, okay, why didn't call to the Palestinian Authority? He said, we called the Palestinian Authority, and he told us, we don't want to help you. Take the money from the village, the people in the village. So I told him, look, I can't give you money. I can help you if you tell me how long time you can pay this 300,000 shekels. He says, okay, I'll come back to you. He said, after half an hour, he said, okay, David, 2 years. They fixed the electricity. The Palestinian Authority want to see that their people are suffering. And this will not happen because they are working, they get salary. One of our workers was a Palestinian officer in the Palestinian Authority. He took out, he leave his job because he get 500 shekels, 9,000 shekels. He gets 5 times more by working in our Jordan Valley stores. more than the Palestinian Authority. So they have stability. You can see that they build new houses, new car, and they don't want to lose it. For them, the Palestinian Authority, rule or Palestinian state, is to lose all what they get until now.
Bassem, what is your message to the people around the world, the BDS organization, the German organization, and European organization that want to take care of you and to help you? That's what they say.
I think that the message to the Europeans is to stop using the Palestinians. You are using us in a negative way. You are using us for your own political purposes. Stop using us. Stop adding oil to the flame. In my opinion, while the Europeans are supporting the BDS, they didn't know directly how much oil they are adding to the flame. We are flaming. We are flaming. Stop. In the meantime, the message to Europe is stop considering us as victims. Stop. We are human beings, like any other human being around the world. Stop considering us victims. Because the only one who is victimizing us is our own leadership. Look what is going on in Gaza. Every Friday, the Hamas collecting tens of thousands of children and young people, driving them to the border to be killed or to be injured. This is what you should have to fight against. So we victimized by our own leadership. You must have to understand that. Since the 30th of March this year, each Friday, there is a huge confrontation on the Israeli-Gaza border. What the Gazan people really achieved from that? Hamas almost paid in $15 million in cash by Qatar. But that's paid to the Hamas, not to the people.
To Israel. Israel lent the money, of course.
Yeah, Israel has its own interest, yeah, but still, the Hamas is the one who is responsible on the miserable daily life in the Gaza Strip, not Israel, by the way. This is the problem. Where is the BDS? If the BDS really want to help the Palestinians, I want to see or to hear a plea from the BDS on what is going on in the Gaza Strip and how the Hamas is victimizing their own people. We didn't hear that because this is not the interest of the BDS. The BDS want to fight Israel only. The BDS want to destroy Israel only. And as a Palestinian, I don't have enough time to wait for the BDS to destroy Israel. That's it.
David, when you see the organization of the BDS that come to the Jordan Valley and ignoring the normal life in the Jordan Valley, what do you think to yourself is the meaning of their coming to the Jordan Valley? Why they are ruining the cooperation? Why they coming against you and bothering you doing your job?
Well, I ask myself a lot of time what is the reason. Because if you show the reality of life, there is no any reason to the BDS. If you see what happened in Israel, the relationship between the Palestinians and the Israelis, there is no reason to the BDS movement. So I ask myself, what is the BDS? What is happening behind the BDS? And I ask myself a lot of time, and I said, the only reason that the BDS is real is because they are anti-Semitic. They want to destroy Israel. And they find if you look at the picture, it's a beautiful picture, but if you don't like to take who is the photograph, you would say, man, there is a point. It's not a good picture. Those kind of people that leader in the BDS want to destroy Israel. They are anti-Semitic. They don't want us, not Israel, not all over the world. That's the reason of the BDS, not the Palestinians, not nothing. As Bassem said, they don't care about the Palestinians. They care about one only thing, to destroy Israel. And who wants to destroy Israel are anti-Semitic. And I want to tell them that they will not be. Israel after 70 will grow. We are a nation of high-tech, we are a nation of agriculture. The population is growing and we are strong. And everybody over the world knows Israel is strong. We are a strong army. And we will win the BDS. With you, of course.
Yeah. Just to continue from that point, last year I met 14 different students from South Africa in Jerusalem. And I was invited to lecture to them. I'm very critical, by the way, to the South African people, because I'm telling the South African people all the time that if there is an apartheid on earth, it is still South Africa. Still South Africa. I was in South Africa, 6 times. I visited the Apartheid Museum in Johannesburg, and I didn't understand how people considering Israel as apartheid. I didn't understand. Because what I saw in the museum in Johannesburg is not the reality Israeli at all. And these students, after they went back to South Africa, they gave a very big interview to one of the major newspapers in South Africa. Listen what the students told the journalist. They told the journalist, when we accept the invitation to go to Israel, the BDS contacted us in South Africa, and they suggested to us, each of us, $4,000 in turn to cancel his trip to Israel. $4,000. You know, in $4,000 in South Africa, you can live 2 years. 2 years. I was there. Why the BDS suggested $4,000 for each of them to cancel his trip to Israel? Because they know that if these people will come to Israel, after they will come back to South Africa, they will throw their shoes in the face of the BDS. And they said, you are just cheating us. You are lying on us. What you are telling us, it's never happened there. We didn't see it at all. So the question, from where the BDS is bringing is such a huge amount of money. This is one trip One trip in one country, it's almost cost them 44,000 US dollar. So it looks like that it's a factory of money. Factory of money. But at least I am very happy that I never paid one penny from that. But I think that Europe should have to be very sad because their money is paid for such kind of thing.
Before I will ask David and Bassem the last question, I wanted to know if there is any question that you want to ask to Bassem or to David. Please.
Yes, my name is David Elhyani. I come to Israel since about 30 years, so I know a little bit about the country. And I just finished a book about all the pieces I did for radio. So I belong to this terrible group of journalists, but I was never one of those journalists who need to get a shoe in their face. On the contrary. And now, the Jordan Valley was one of the places I've been to very often. And although I'm a journalist, and although I came I do not yet know if the strip along the Jordan on the eastern or the Israeli side, is it so-called occupied country or is it Israel? I don't know it.
Well, there is no Israeli sovereignty in the Jordan Valley. I refuse to say occupied.
Yeah, it's no sovereignty of the...
It's occupied like Tel Aviv.
It's very questionable because in my book I don't want to put anything wrong. So please say what is the status of this strip along the Jordan River in the Jordan Valley?
By Hamas.
Bitte?
By Hamas.
After the Arab states attacked Israel in 1967, Israel occupied the country from Jordan.
Yes.
Jordan Valley is the same story of Judea and Samaria. The same story of the Jewish state all over the Jewish state.
I can tell you that 89% of the Israelis think that the Jordan Valley is under Israeli sovereignty.
Okay.
So you are not alone. You are not alone.
Okay.
Even Israel
And now
thought that the Jordan Valley is under
Yeah.
Israeli sovereignty.
And now I have a question to you, Bassem. What you said, and you said you are not, nobody knocks at your door to put you into prison, but what you are saying here openly, it gives me the impression that the Palestinian Authority is a very free country.
At all not.
No, I ask you, how come?
Because I am one among 2 million.
Okay, but they don't do anything to you.
Yeah,
Or
no.
you really are
Listen, because I paid a lot for that. I am a very famous person internationally. I received a lot of an international awareness around the world. I was arrested by Yasser Arafat. I appeared in the most popular programs around the world. So that's almost gave me the impunity.
I understand.
Now,
Yeah.
why the other Palestinians couldn't stand up like Bassem Eid and speak freely? Why the Palestinians should have to be scared from the Palestinian Authority that if they will speak freely, tomorrow morning they will be in prison? So while these people are still scared, I didn't see that the Palestinian Authority is a free country.
Okay, so it's because you are an internationally known...
Exactly. I already built my own impunity in my hands.
So they
There
use
is another
you.
reason.
Exactly.
They use you.
Sometimes yes,
Yes, okay.
sometimes.
Not sometimes. They use him to say that the Palestinian Authority is...
Okay, one last question from you. Now, I understand that right now in the Jordan Valley, you do have many groups that work together, like the nature groups, like like the farms that have owls in the Jordan Valley to combat the mice that eat the salmon. So there are Palestinians who work with it.
Of course.
So that is
This is not many groups, this is 2 groups, Israelis and Palestinians. We don't have Iranis, we don't have Afghanistani, we don't have Turkish, we don't have anything.
But you are called?
Only Israelis and Palestinians.
Yes?
And we are surviving from that. This is, you must have to know that 70% of the Palestinian income is based on Israel.
That's what I was.
70%.
70%.
70%.
All the Palestinians.
In the West Bank, I am talking about the West Bank right now, not about Gaza.
Jordan Valley 100%.
Exactly. So that's very important. That's very important. So imagine, sometimes I used to say, imagine if David tomorrow, as the mayor of the Jordan Valley, will decide that we are going to boycott the Palestinian workers. What will happen?
You will lose.
What the BDS will do?
You will use your income.
Well, what the BDS will do? Will the BDS find us jobs in Germany, in Frankfurt? I would love to come and work in Frankfurt, by the way. Come on.
Okay, I get it.
Imagine if the boycott will come from the Israeli side. What will happen to the Palestinians?
I'll tell you a story. Before 4 years, the Palestinian authority asked all the workers in the Jordan Valley, the boss of the worker, to come to Jericho. And they told them, we want you not to work in the farmers in the Jordan Valley.
Yeah,
So they said, okay, who will pay me money?
very
Who will
good.
pay me my salary?
Yeah.
The Palestinian authority will pay it. And how much? How can we live? I get more than 5,000 shekels per month. And you give me 500,
5,000 they get in the Jordan Valley.
Yes. And 500 in Ramallah.
Sometimes
10 times than what they get in the Jordan
they
Valley.
are working, they get more than 5,000 shekels.
I want to get some more people to ask questions, please.
Yes.
First of all, I really want to say, as a German Jew, thank you very much for coming to Frankfurt and speaking here.
Thank you.
And
It's a pleasure.
my question would be that you said that about 6,000 Palestinians are working each day and thus are able to support their families, and they are.
This is only in the Jordan Valley. Listen, not all of the West Bank. Oh, we talk about
Thousands.
much more in all of the West Bank.
It's thousands.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's stay in the Jordan Valley.
Yes.
Okay.
So if other Palestinians and Arabs see the difference between their lives that they are living in Gaza or in Ramallah, and they see how their Arab Muslim brothers can live under Israeli sovereignty and get jobs and be able to sustain their families, so how come that there is still, maybe it's a small part, but how come there is still a part in the Palestinian society that is trying to keep the resistance going? Because there are youngsters who are still willing to waste their time, and they take a knife and they go and stab Israelis in the streets, they go to the borders and they throw stones. And there are mothers who are willing to sacrifice their children as shaheeds, right? So how come that if they see that they can have a good life, if they just try to fight their hate, how come that there is still this some sort of ghost that is called resistance, and the will to maybe someday create a Palestinian country again? How come that this is still going on? Like, I see the difference, I see that I can have that. Why do I choose the other way? And how can we, as a group of people, what can we do with this crowd? What can we do to battle it?
Yeah.
You know the Palestinian society better than us.
Yeah, unfortunately, yes. The major problem, in my opinion, that by stabbing an Israeli or killing an Israeli, it became also a kind of income. By whom? By the Palestinian Authority. Well, they are paying thousands of dollars to these stabbers or these killers, so sometimes it became a kind of income. Because I met with the Palestinian youths sometimes, and they said, listen, I applied to the Israelis for a working permit, and it was rejected. What I should have to do? I will take a knife, go to stab an Israeli, then the Palestinian Authority will pay a monthly salary for my family. So this is an income. This is an income. I think that the biggest fight against those gangsters that I call them, they are not shahidis by the way, should have to come from the Palestinian Authority. The Palestinian Authority should have to stop it. By cutting the salaries from these people, I don't believe that anyone will do it. Anyone will do it. And this is the pressure that we know that the Americans are trying to put on the Palestinian Authority right now. How to stop paying salaries for the so-called shaheeds, prisoners, killers, stabbers, whatever you call it here. But in the meantime, the money that the United States almost cut from the Palestinian Authority budget, it came from Europe. So we did nothing. We still continued in the same policy here. I think that Europe should have to be very aware of that. That you are not only wasting your money, but you are bringing more and more violence to the region. That's the major problem. Now, people are very aware about their own life while they are working in the Jordan Valley or in any other Israeli factory in the West Bank. People very aware that our life is much better than our neighbor life. Because my salary is 5,000-6,000 shekels a month, and my neighbor only 1,400. People are very aware of that. And people knows that if the violence will increase in the West Bank, people are supposed to lose jobs and to lose their income. People are aware about it. So in my opinion, the majority of the Palestinians, I believe that they are totally against such kind of violence in the West Bank. Because if that violence will increase, our income will decrease. Yeah.
Thank you, Bassem. Yes, please.
Rabbi Schwartz from Actions for Israel. One of the subjects that what we deal with is the affair with Ezra Nawi from Betzelem, which is an NGO that supports believers. In this affair, Ezra Nawi provided names of the Palestinian authorities and Palestinians who are ready to discuss about business with Jews, selling land to Jews. Until May this year, officially, there was death penalty on the Palestinian Authority side for those people, for having this kind of business. Now we've got question number one to you, Bassem. According to
We're a little running out of time, so please one question so we can.
Yeah, let me go to the first question. Unfortunately, yes, I heard about such kind of stories that Betzelem informing the Palestinian Authority about the Palestinians who sold lands to the Israelis. I am asking myself, is this a human rights subject? To see somebody executed or somebody in prison, is that a human rights issue? The human rights issue is how to release people from prison, not to jail people and put them in prison. I was completely shocked, to read about such a story. Unfortunately, the Palestinian law today is much more based on the Jordanian law. Because the West Bank was under the Jordanian rule for 19 years, from 48 till 67. And the Jordanian law is still applicable in the West Bank. I heard recently also that somebody who was arrested from Bethlehem, who was involved also in a kind of a deal by selling land to the Israelis in Jerusalem. Right now he is in prison. And I heard 3 days ago that there is a court in Kalkilia who sentenced 3 Palestinians who suspected as people who sold property to the Jews, and they were sentenced for 15 years hard labor. That's happened in Kalkilia just 3 days ago. And I am going to, of course, to investigate this case. I think that Israel right now should have probably to contact the Jordanians. And such kind of law, after the peace accord between Israel and Jordan, I think that such kind of article must have to be changed or probably to be trashed. It's not related to the Palestinian Authority because this is a Jordanian law, we couldn't change it, but Jordan, of course, can update it, let's say, their own law. I think that it is a very important matter. If there is a kind of peace between Jordan and Israel, I think that the Jordanians should have to trash such article from their own law.
Would it be applicable then to the...
Just David
Yes,
will answer.
yes.
David will answer also the question, and then we'll have two more questions.
You know who replaced Ezranawi? A guy called Guy Hirschfeld. He is visiting the Jordan Valley twice a week. And he is going to the Palestinian people and told them, let's make problems to the Jews. If you not do it, I'll talk to the Palestinian Authority that you live together and you are mashtapim.
Collaborators.
Collaborators and Jews. Twice a week, he's coming to the Jordan Valley and makes problem.
Under the cover of human rights.
Can you provide me information for this?
Of course, a lot.
Please.
Got my email.
I heard in the
You know what
news-
he called me? The head of terror organization. Guy Hirschfeld.
It's so important to see that you are working together as Israelis and Palestinians, and it makes me really happy.
We have thousands like this, by the way.
A few weeks ago, I have been in Judea, and they are working Arab together with Jews,
Yes.
and I'm working with a tractor in the fields. And my question now is, I heard in the news that Jordanian wants to reject the peace contract because of the Jordan Valley. Or the abandonment of the peace contract. What do you say to this?
The truth is, it's a very diplomatic situation. It has less.
Just 4,000 donors. Don't make 4,000 donors a big issue. The big issue is in Jordan. We want to tell to the people in Jordania, look, we are taking care about our land. It's political issue inside Jordan. But for us, it's just 4,000 donors. 1,000 acres.
That's why you didn't hear Israel say anything about it. It's a Jordanian political issue. Abdallah has a lot of issues in Jordan, and each one should deal with his problems.
70% of the population in Jordan are Palestinians.
I think that the Jordanians almost forgot it. Because Saudi Arabia right now, and especially the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, is trying to create a kind of evolutionary against the king of Jordan.
Don't get inside any country.
Consulate, yes. So now Jordan is very busy with such kind of revolutionary that Saudi Arabia is preparing inside Jordan. I hear from my own sources recently that Israel requested from the Kingdom of Bahrain to interfere in the issue of these two territories which has been rented by the Israelis in the past 25 years from King Hussein. Now, Kingdom of Bahrain is going to be the moderator between the Israelis and the Palestinians and the Jordanians, which I believe that Israel will still continue keeping these two territories.
One more question, please. So, before we finish, I wanted, from your question, to say something. All the territories in Judea and Samaria, and those two territories that Jordan want back. I spoke with Bassem before. 10 years ago, 30 years ago, 100 years ago, there was nothing over there. when the Jews came back after the Holocaust and established the Jewish state, Israel started having flowers, starting having a society that is doing well and good to all around. You have no society that's successful in the Middle East like Israel. And when you defeat Israel, you defeat goodness. So thank you very much. I want to thank David and Bassem.